Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 173 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. Thank you guys so much for sharing this podcast with your friends and also just for listening. It means a lot to me. I hope you know that. So I've been pretty open about my family and how I have to do mindset work around my family. But most of us do, right? Who doesn't have a family where at least there has to be some mindset work? Now, sometimes I think avoiding it altogether because that is what's good for my mindset is what I would do. But the avoiding causes mindset issues of its own because I'm pushing feelings down that should probably be felt and then released. So it had been a while, maybe a month since I talked to my mom and dad, and they're both in their 70s. So, that's not good. And my mom honestly has never been anything but lovely to me, and my dad for the most part too. But somehow I feel uneasy about calling them because I'm not sure if they want to hear from me. But then I think, the times that I do talk to my mom, it's usually because she's called me, so of course she wants to hear from me. Deep down, if I'm being honest, I think I associate them with my sister that shunned us for not being part of their religion because they're all part of the same religion. Now, my thoughts are just worry that they'll do the same as my sister, or maybe I also blame them a little bit for allowing her to do what she did and they just act like it's okay. Now, I will say with her, she stated the way she felt and her intentions. So there was no guessing there. She doesn't want to be part of our life and I have no control of that. So I don't even bother to clean that up. It's a decision out of my control and therefore I'm fine moving on from it. It's not a problem. I don't like it, obviously, but it's not something I control. But my parents are different. Sometimes I avoid them because of my thoughts of, well, they've got my two sisters that are part of that religion and their kids, so they don't care if I'm around at all. But is that true? My mom reaches out to me way more than I reach out to her. It's because of my thoughts that I don't reach out more. My thoughts of what she might be thinking about me that keeps me from connecting with her. So I recognized that and I decided that's unfair to her. And to me. So I called her this morning and she didn't answer. So of course, quickly my brain was like, oh, she's probably with my other sister and her family and that's why she wouldn't answer. But again, I caught myself and laughed because I created this whole scenario in my head of my mom and dad and my other sister and her kids are all having breakfast together and just having a good old time. And when she saw that was me calling, she didn't take it because she knew my sister wouldn't approve. This is all in my head. I created that whole thing. As soon as I realized what I was doing, I literally laughed out loud to myself and I was like, oh, what are you doing? You have no idea why she didn't answer. Maybe her phone's on silent and her and dad are enjoying coffee. Good for her. But guess what? I made that call. I felt amazing about the decision to make that call and then I let it go. I went outside and I meditated, and just after I finished meditating and I was really just sitting there just enjoying the gorgeous weather, my mom called me back. And of course, she and dad had been sitting out enjoying the weather as well and having coffee and her phone had been inside. So she ended up putting me on speakerphone with dad and we had a really, really nice conversation for about 20 minutes. So fun. All because I recognized that my thoughts were holding me back from connecting with my mom and dad. And they were so happy that I called, genuinely happy. I imagine sometimes they probably have thoughts that I'm just too busy for them because I don't reach out. Who knows? But I've decided that I'm going to make that call whenever I feel the desire to in the future, instead of letting my thoughts get in the way because they just simply aren't true. And that's the case, isn't it? Most of the time, what you think someone is thinking is not what they're thinking about you. I was listening to Abraham Hicks today, and she always talks about everything isn't about you. It is not someone's perception of you that bothers you. It's your perception of their perception. So basically, it's not what they think about you. It's what you think about what they think about you that really matters. Wayne Dyer would always say, what other people think of me is none of my business. And I am so on board with that. It does not matter what other people think. The only thing that matters is what you think. If you think you're awesome, you're awesome, and you'll attract people in your life that are awesome too. If you think and you have thoughts that you're a bad person, well, then you live in constant guilt and shame of being a bad person, and then you attract that from others too. That's damaging. It's all about you. And I posted a reel on my story a while ago, and it was a therapist that said, you aren't the lead role in anyone's life but your own. So stop taking things so personally. And my dad used to tell me, stop being so thin-skinned. Now that I think about it, that was actually really good advice. I mean, we have no idea how other people see us. And when we try to guess what they think of us, well, most of us get it wrong. And you know why we do that? Because it is the rare soul who constantly has good thoughts about themselves. Most of us beat ourselves up so bad. So why would we think others would think any differently? I mean, you don't think you're worthy? You're going to attract and find things that confirm your unworthiness. You think the world is out to get you? You're going to find confirmation of that too. Your thoughts, especially the subtle ones that sneak around in your head unnoticed, they matter. They matter so much. When you recognize them, you can literally put them in their place by laughing at how ridiculous, I can't even say the word because it's so ridiculous, but how ridiculous it is to think that thought. That's what I did with my thoughts about my mom. I mean, me having thoughts that my mom wouldn't love a phone call for me, that's ridiculous on its own. But knowing how much she loves me makes it even more ridiculous. The only thing that it was doing was making me feel bad and her too. All because of silly, untrue thoughts that I was having. My life is better today because I was aware of some thoughts that were hurting me, and yours can be too, I promise. You want to know the state of your thoughts? Just look around at how your life is going. And if you want to improve it, it all starts with you and those sneaky, subtle thoughts. Start quieting your mind in some way, anyway, so you become aware of them. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.